Welcome, adventurers. It's Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We won't be able to say that for very much longer unless something happens on Capitol Hill to get rid of the daylight savings time, which I'm really rooting for. I'm your guide, Sean McZoo. This is the Reptile Show reporter. As usual, Bill Strand, the headmaster of the Chameleon Academy, is here today. He's not landing at the airport. He's not in Madagascar. He's not away. His lovely wife isn't here to accompany me. That's all the things that happened while you were gone. So let's get back to the chat. No one's here yet, I guess. All right. Well, I guess they don't really. We're not worried about it. All right, we're gonna do the video. All right. Okay, we'll remove that and we're back. All right, let us know who you are if you're here. If not, we'll start talking about all the different stuff. All right, let's get this show going on the road. Tonight, we're talking about, I didn't do a script for tonight, but we're talking about Bill's trip to Madagascar. Yay. Unfortunately, James was supposed to join us. He would join Bill, but he's not joining us because apparently he's under the weather. I don't know. What kind of a weak person is he to go to Madagascar and get sick? All right, here's Nate Raleigh and Two Turtle Tom. We'll show them in a minute. Bill, any announcements?
Other than I'm back and I'm going to be having a video Friday morning at 5 a.m. on the premiere, and it's going to be getting back into the saddle of video and podcast. It's going to be
good golly.
Yeah.
And as I announced before, my computer hit the skids and died, and so this is my wife's and my computer now. So I don't know why I look so blue today, but I didn't eat any blueberries or anything else like that. I did go to the market, and we got some blueberries, but I didn't eat any of them yet. So I'm not like Madam Blueberry. I don't know if anyone knows the reference, but from VeggieTales. That's neither here nor there. So Nate, hi, how are you? Let's go ahead and show that you who you are here. Nate is here. I got lots of pictures from Bill, but I got a whole lot more from James. I don't know if I should show his pictures. And Two Turtle Tom is here with his daughter Paige in this one. And two more comments. Mikey Ben. Right. Mikey, there we go. Let's see here. We should put, I think we just got, we didn't have Mikey with all the Canadians anymore. I guess that's on my other computer or something like that. All right. That's who's here so far. We'll drop a note in the comment if you're here, guys. All right. The color temperature of monitor may be different, making you more blue. All right. I don't know if that's it. Because Bill is regular color and I'm Madam Blueberry here. So, or Mr. Blueberry, I guess you could say. Anyways. All right. Let's see, Bill. Any announcements for me? There won't be a pause on my what do you call them? Okay, on my brain, because I had a migraine earlier this morning, and I've struggled all day. It's gotten much better than it was this morning. I had it yesterday as well. Got me up really early, and but I did get great light on sunrise and sunset. I was up for both of them, but there you go. But I was trying to say my podcast, there won't be any more until I get the computer, this computer up to date or download with software or whatever else it might be that I need to do. So lots of things going on in the world now. And there we go. Maybe this is what happened.
It happens.
It happens. All right. Okay. What else did I want to talk about tonight? No, I don't know. All right, Bill, talk to us about your trip to Madagascar. How did it start? how did you get there?
I don't know what's to say. All right, so
It's going to be a challenging interview. I'm just going to end the show.
all right, so you're saying, how did I get there?
Yeah, how did where you're from California? Did you like jump in the ocean and swim there? What
All
happened?
right, well, this is something that I want to, for anybody thinking about going to Madagascar, I'm going to say I have figured out the best way to do it is to fly to Paris and spend the night in Paris and then fly to Madagascar the next morning. We had so much trouble with with delayed connections, missed connections, and baggage not making it. It was pretty bad, and
Okay.
I
So
was
I was looking at a map the other day in my basement, and I didn't realize how much of Europe is sitting right on top of Africa as we look at it that way. Is that why you flew to Paris?
I flew to Paris because Madagascar used to be a French colony, and so they
Mhm.
still have very strong ties.
Okay.
And so that is the best hub with the best airline to get to Madagascar.
Okay.
Last time I went through Air Kenya or Kenyan
Mhm.
Airways. That was a complete disaster. And anybody who's taken Kenyan Airways, it's been a complete disaster. So there's a lot of different ways to get to Madagascar, and I am losing my stomach for trying all these discount airways. Uh, it's not worth the saving a couple $100 here and there if you're going to be missing a connection or you're going to be spending 23 hours in some bizarre airport that you've never heard of before. So
Okay.
that's what I have learned.
All right.
I
So it's two flights, one to Paris and one to Madagascar from Paris.
Now I took 3 flights. I went from Los Angeles. If you want the cheaper airlines, you've got airfare. You've got to do a connecting flight somewhere. So you got to get to the East Coast, and then you get to Paris.
So the Los Angeles airport, is that not part of the fires going on now?
I do not know.
Okay.
I came back. Well, no, wait a minute. Yeah, the fires were while I was there, and it was not affected. The fires were gone before I came back.
Great. All right. I mean, not a lot of kindling on I'm sure on the tarmac, so not too much they could do there. So, all right. Okay, so you went from Paris to where now?
Paris to Antananarivo.
Okay. So, but the connecting flight you went through from LA to
I did a connect to Atlanta.
Okay.
There was
Atlanta.
a number of people took connecting flights. We Utah, Salt Lake City, Dallas, Fort Worth, and for whatever reason, Atlanta were the most common jumping off points for Paris. So I don't know why it was cheaper to do those connecting flights than it was to just go from LAX to Paris. But in the future, I am not going to go with these discount providers and I'm just going to go straight to Paris from LAX and spend the night there. We had James missed his connection because they're trying to they delayed a flight so they could get some Post Malone, I guess he's a singer, get him on the flight. And so because of that, he missed his flight in Paris to get on Paris. And so he literally came a couple of days late.
So is that why you say spend the night in Paris?
Spend the night in Paris because then you can have as many delays as you want getting there. And it's not going to mean your luggage is lost or you don't make the flight. We had Tia from Finland. She spent 3 days without her luggage.
Okay. So when you got to Paris and you spend the night, are you talking about leaving the airport, go somewhere and come back, or are you staying the night in the airport?
There's a hotel at the airport.
Okay. So you don't have to leave the airport.
No.
Wow, that's cool. Okay,
you just stay around. And you can leave the airport if you want to, but Me, I don't need to go and see another city.
Okay.
I'll be happy just to rest up, and
All
also to
right.
brace it up. I mean, it takes what 12 hours to get to Paris, and then jump on a plane another 12 hours to Madagascar. I was like, come on, that's
Wow.
it'd
That's a
be kind
long
of
trip,
nice to
though.
break that up.
That's a long trip. Okay. So you landed in Madagascar. Where did you land in what city did you land in? Where is that
You
located
land
on
in
Madagascar?
Antananarivo. It's kind of in the middle of the country,
Hmm.
and that's the only place. That's the only international airport.
Okay.
So everybody lands there,
Hmm.
and from there you go to wherever you're going to go. If you
Okay.
want to go up to the north and start seeing panther chameleons, you got to take a flight. That's the best way to get up to, say, Ambelobe, Nosy Bay, that kind of
Mhm.
area. In my case, we jumped in a van and we drove 2 days south to Ranamafana.
Okay.
And
Reason for that?
uh, the reason for Ranamafana
Hmm.
is because I wanted to see my shamrock chameleons.
There you go. Okay. The Shamrock Pavilions were down
Shamrock
there. Okay.
chameleons, and your plate is Fantasticus. Although you see Fantasticus in Andasi Bay as well, and that comes in a little bit later in the story. But
Okay.
next to Ranamafana is the Anja Reserve, and
Hmm.
that is where you get to see ring-tailed lemurs.
Okay. So
So,
it looked like you saw from your Facebook post and Instagram stuff with you and James. You saw a lot of lemurs.
oh yeah, oh my goodness, yeah, lemurs all over the place.
I mean, James was trouble with the lemurs, so
Yeah, James got mugged by lemurs, so
we'll have
that's
to talk to him about that. But
yeah, that's kind of funny.
maybe not. Maybe he's got too much PSTD about it.
I don't know. I've never heard of this, but
PTSD. There you
if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to James.
go.
You need to get James on here when he's feeling better,
Hmm.
because he has got all of the stories. He's got stuff that has happened to him that I he got he got fleeced by the police force in immigration. So I
Wow.
mean that's hard to do. He
So
got
he
through
got
immigration.
lemur disease when he was there. He got the police after him. He got all this stuff. That's why he's sick.
If
He
there's
had too much
anything
time
that
with the
could happen,
lemurs.
it happened to James.
Okay.
It's amazing. I've never seen one person that was just a magnet for
I used to like
things.
fly everywhere and have nothing bad happen. And then one time I got I missed a flight and all kinds of things happened both ways. So I was flying down to Houston and it was supposed to be a direct flight and ended up being connecting and all this nonsense. So I ended up like a day late, but just to Houston from Cleveland, which is like should be a single flight for a few hours. But yeah, I can imagine what happened to him. But out of the country and all kinds of different stuff. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and this is the first time he's done international flying. So perhaps things that a number of us would just, that's just, I've been through so many airports, international, US, done that I got a kind of an idea of what's going on. But when it's your first time, it's really difficult to navigate.
I really haven't been to too many. I mean, I went to the Bahamas back when I was 18 or 19 on spring break, but that's actually only the.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
a
I've been
Catman.
to Mexico and I've been to Canada, but I drove both of those, so I don't know. But
So okay, Mikey Ben's got a question here.
all right, what's he have to say? Let's see.
Oh, it's the one a little bit further up.
Mikey
Says,
Ben.
Bill, were you more concerned about the traveler's health or what they are going to experience? Although it's had some real interesting health issues, I really wasn't too worried about it. We had a major health issue on the trip. Somebody purchased fruit off of the side of the road, and a number of us were saying, "Oh, you do not want to do that." And but there's no telling. This one was, let's just say, she has a thirst for adventure, and so
She had an adventure, huh?
Oh, she had an adventure for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
It was a brush with death here.
Come to
And
think of it, Bill, I said I don't think I've ever actually been to Mexico. Canada.
okay,
I know why. I just had to correct it because I said it out loud, and I'm thinking, I don't think I've ever been there. I've been to Puerto Rico, but that's not
don't
another country. So,
don't
but
buy food off the side of the road.
yes, don't bite the food off the
Don't
side of the road. Yes,
don't
let's
drink
go
the
back to
water.
the right.
Um,
Exactly.
but she bounced back
Mhm.
and continued on.
Good.
So you all mean like diarrhea, vomiting. It was pretty ugly. But other than that, the thing to be most concerned about is malaria. But
Mhm.
I've never encountered anybody who's gotten malaria. Half of us take the prophylactic
Mhm.
of the Mularone,
Mhm.
and the other half don't, and nobody gets malaria. So it is like playing roulette there.
Mhm.
You don't want to be the first person to get it because there is malaria in the area. But
Is it
uh,
malaria with resistance, or is it just standard old malaria?
I don't know.
Okay.
But there was just so few mosquitoes there. Now, Annabelle will dispute that. Apparently, in this trip, Annabelle was the one that the mosquitoes all loved. And
Well,
so
mosquitoes like individual people. It is definitely that certain people are mosquito magnets and certain people are not. So
I
it might have to do with what you eat or where you are, or what you've been, or I guess what you taste like. I don't know, but there's something about certain people that have become mosquito magnets. But
I just went to dinner and I was saying, I'm really surprised that there's no mosquitoes. And Annabelle raised her, yeah, wait a minute. It's because they're all over here with me. So apparently there were mosquitoes. And so you gotta malaria is something to consider.
okay.
Now, this trip, unlike the last trip, I had a lot of fruit juice this time.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I was very careful which restaurants I had the fruit juice. There's nicer restaurants, and then there's sketchier restaurants. And I chose to drink the fruit juice from the nicer restaurants. And but if they ever threw an ice cube in it, I didn't.
So does it come from in a bottle or something, or how do you know that it's good?
Well, it's not going to come from a bottle. They're going to, I don't know. I don't know. And they say they use filtered water. Now, what they mean by filtered, I don't know. So, it's all a
You
risk.
run it through a leaf, Bill.
Everything is a risk. And there is bottled water, that's safe.
Mm-hmm.
There is coffee, that is safe. And so, as a vegetarian, how do you survive? Oh, it will be difficult to survive as a vegetarian in Madagascar. The safest dish is zebu, which is like beef. Um, it would be very difficult if you are going to eat only vegetables or plant matter, mainly because the only way to be safe from all of the microbes is for it to be boiled. And so you would eat everything to be boiled to be safe. Vegetarian, I don't know. It
Boiling a
would be
salad
difficult.
doesn't sound very good, Bill.
Yeah, I'd be careful with any salad.
Mhm.
So it would be difficult to maintain a vegetarian diet in Madagascar and be safe.
But some of the people who live there all the time can do it. I think I would say
I
probably.
guess. And
Okay.
let's see, Annette is saying, been to several African countries in my 20s. I guess I was more adventurous and did well, fine. Yeah, you go to Madagascar. If you've survived as a vegetarian in other African countries, then Madagascar should be the same. It's no more dangerous.
As we age, it gets a little more dangerous, but okay.
I I have had people make they're adults, they make their dietary decisions and they decide what risks they want to take.
So Rana what did you see? You saw the shamrock chameleons. You saw the
Yep.
ring-tailed lemurs by there. Anything else?
Yellow-lipped Parsons and
Mhm.
Balteatus for those of you who know your chameleon species.
Mhm.
Now, it was interesting that it was a uncharacteristically dry, and that really cut down on the number of chameleon species that we saw.
That's a bummer.
So yeah, and boy, they were thirsty. Everybody was thirsty,
Okay.
and a little bit of rain came while we were there, and everything woke up and was gulping down water.
Wow. Okay. So where'd you go next?
So after Ralamafana, we went to the Anja Reserve, and that's where we saw the ring-tailed lemurs.
Mhm.
And then after that, it was another 2-day trip up north, and then we saw. Oh, and in between there, we stopped by. We saw some carpet chameleons. We saw some Percifer minor, and then we.
So the trip is in a vehicle. Is it like
Yeah,
a regular American vehicle? Is it an older car? What the heck is it like?
it's a big pink van.
A big pink van.
That's
Okay.
right.
It's labeled tourist inside, please, Rob.
Oh, they have a very strong tourist industry, and they are set up for tourism. I never felt threatened or
Mhm.
in danger. So they're pretty well established. The tour guides are regulated by the government,
Mhm.
and they're just there wasn't a feeling of threat. There
Great.
was you could be mobbed by the people trying to sell you stuff, but I didn't think we were at any point we were in danger of being
Great.
kidnapped or that kind of stuff. That's not the Madagascar thing.
Okay. So where did you end up then that next day?
We went to Andasi Bay,
Okay.
and that's where you can see Parsonicte Christopher,
Hmm.
more of the Europlatus, Sakore,
Mhm.
Fantasticus, and a lot of different little chameleon species, and Brachysia, and a bunch of little Kalumas. So we also saw pill millipedes, and that was really cool.
Hmm.
And and then that's where you see the injury, the lemurs, where you hear their little mournful wails. So that's how you get to be woken up in the morning.
I guess that's okay.
Hey,
I'm
you know,
disturbed by some alarms that people have, but I don't know that. I guess that's nature for you, right?
yeah, that would be really cool because it's different. I don't know if you're raised up there,
Mhm.
and that's the only life you know. You may be annoyed by them, but
Mhm.
of course, for us, it was just very exotic.
Mhm. So where'd you go from there?
From there, went to the coast, and
So let me stop for a minute. What did you stay in? Hotels? Were you camping? What were you doing?
hotels along the road, and then
Mhm.
there's lodges in
Okay.
around these areas, and so it's actually quite nice.
Mhm.
Now, I mean,
What
don't
was the
expect.
what's the difference between a hotel and a lodge from in that area?
I would say. Uh, One would be like a hotel, like along the road, we
Mhm.
would have simple hotels, and so
Okay.
on the lodge, I would say it's a lodge because you it's right next to the park, and so you
Okay.
go out and there's this huge rainforest in your
Great.
backyard
Okay.
instead of a city.
All right.
And
So what did you do next?
so we went to the coast, took a
Mhm.
boat, and boated around until we got to a beachside lodge
Mhm.
and hung out there for a while. And there's where we could find orange eye Parsons chameleons.
Mhm. You saw a couple cool ones. I saw this via.
Yeah, panther chameleons. And this is where you saw a lot of lemurs. And
Let's
these
see if
lemurs,
I'm sure I have some of these orange eyes here. Let's see.
as well as the eye.
Let's see. I don't even know what. I can't even see those. Ah, there you go.
Oh, is that James Cross photo?
Yes, that's James Cross's. He sent me pics.
Okay.
So That's the one he sent me, and there's one with him holding that one, I think.
Yeah, that's the
There's one
orange
with
eye.
him and you together. It
Hey,
proves he
okay.
was there, or that both of you were somewhere that you didn't want us to know. And let's see. This is James holding something. Yep.
Yeah, that's a female. Let's see. That's an orange eye.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. James holding something else.
That's the first for bifidus, and he
Mm-hmm.
is the one who saw that.
Cool.
It was crossing the road, and he said, "Chameleon," and then he got off. And
Wow, they actually crossed the road over there. That seems odd.
oh,
It seems weird, but you know
they
what?
cross the road all
From
the
the
time.
things they've done in my basement when they get out, all the distance they've traveled, I wouldn't surprise me. But
Oh, and
it's just the
Ustaletti, all over the place. We're always seeing them cross the road. They don't care.
Let's see. There's him taking a picture of the orange eye. That's a different orange eye.
Yep. Well, no, actually, that's the same orange eye.
Same one?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Well,
guess
that's
so.
the female.
Okay, that's the same one. Okay,
So,
from up here. Let's see. These are so far apart. I don't know. Okay. Whoops. There's him and a snake.
yeah. I think that's what was that? I don't know what kind of snake that was. I'm not good at snakes. I've got
There's
my
the
emerald
orange eye.
tree bow. I'm happy with that.
I think that I don't even know what kind of snake that is either, so I'm not going to try to guess. Just show my ignorance. All right. So you went. So why did you take a boat to get to this facility? Just because it was fun, or
Because that's the best way to get to it. It's really hard
okay,
to. There's no land road to get to it,
okay.
so you got to take a boat, and
Mhm.
that's how everything comes in.
James is quite the field reporter. I agree. I caught a couple of your lives and a bunch of his stuff, but um,
Yeah, one thing that was different than when I went before is there really wasn't the solid internet connections
Mhm.
that I had 2 years ago.
so were
And
you at a
so,
different location, or is it
nope,
just
same
it just wasn't?
locations.
Was
I
it?
had all the intentions of being live every day, every
It
night.
wasn't a
And
different time of year. You went last year in January, right? Or
yep, same time, same places.
mhm,
So really was surprised
mhm. Was
that
it? I don't know why water would make it any more a better connection. Must
well,
make
the
it better.
internet connection there is always spotty.
Mhm,
And so it's it, I mean, this time the electricity was a lot less predictable,
mhm,
and we would often lose electricity. That
mhm,
didn't happen before,
mhm.
and it's just their grid's not designed to handle everything, and so they just say, "Okay, you're not going to have electricity for 4 hours."
So from California, you're probably used to that. I hear that there's a lot of that out there,
Not like this.
like that.
Although I on the way to Ranamafana, we saw a fire on a hill. And apparently, this was a huge fire and it was a big deal. And people are talking about Armageddon and how it's destroying everything. Of course, California boy, I'd see that smoke in the distance, like, oh, okay, fire. And so, yeah, I deal with that every year.
Mhm.
So I did not appreciate, I did not give it the gravity that
That
it
the rest of
deserved.
the local inhabitants give it. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
even bother taking a picture of it. I should have taken a picture of it. And then I realized it was like international news. So
So you missed the wildfires, so you set them out there in Madagascar. I don't know, Bill.
I, yeah, well, so it was, but it was traumatic for everybody. That wasn't expected,
Mhm.
and the dryness, of course, is what let it happen in the first place. And so, but the plants had this layer of soot over them, and it was pretty depressing. We didn't find any of the mini Kaluma, like the Phalax or such, because I guess they're just more sensitive, so they were hiding. But we were able to see the Shonasii and the Crypticum.
So where did you go next?
There was no next.
There was no next.
That was
You went
it,
back?
man.
You went back to the airport and you left?
and then went back to the airport and left.
So how many days were you there total?
This was 2 weeks, 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then add like a day or two of travel on either side.
Mm-hmm.
2 days of travel to get there, and then 1 day because you're going against the Earth's rotation. It's just, I leave Wednesday morning and I get in 24 hours later Wednesday night.
Okay.
And
so you move both ways, and in the you go back in time and you go forward in time. So, or forward in time and back in time. But yeah.
So it was. The thing is, like once again, you just decide that you're going to do something. You spend all this time preparing for something, and then in a blink of an eye, here I am, and it's over, and it's in the past. It's like, oh, my goodness, that just it's amazing how it just sneaks up on you, and then it's over with. And now I'm looking towards 2026 and doing it again.
Wow, you're gonna go back same time, same place, or
probably. I am getting an itinerary that would be a little bit different, and maybe go up to the north. But I mean, honestly, it would have to be. Excuse me. I'm still catching up on sleep. It would have to be an exceptional itinerary to change what I've got. This is such a perfect itinerary because you see such a wide variety of species, wide variety of areas. And although it does have a lot of driving in transportation, I just can't think of anything that I would want to change.
Okay. So Nate has a question. Are you doing a post-trip questionnaire to the other people to get an idea of things that they liked and didn't like afterwards?
No, I tell them what they like.
I was going to say it was a small group. They probably told you already before you got back.
I've already talked to. I've talked to everyone individually. I've opened it up, and so get an idea of if there's anything. And there's a couple of things that I want to change that will make it go more smoothly.
Great.
Like, for example, I want to add in the initial cost that you pay up front. I want to take care of all of the tips to the baggage handlers, so we aren't sitting here trying to figure out and make sure we have the small change necessary to do that. It just gets to be a pain. So there's some things that I figured out that I can streamline and make it easier for the people doing it.
Great. All right. Anyone else have questions for Bill? We're going to get James on next week, I hope, and we'll hear everything. So he's going to be a little different that interview. He really had a good time, it sounds like. So.
Oh my goodness, that guy. Yeah,
he had a bunch of issues, but he had a great time. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he just loved it. He was in his element there. He was making friends. He was seeing things. He's always
let's see if I have a picture of him with friends. There you go.
Oh yeah. That was when we were sitting at the Indian Ocean, and he had all these kids around him, and I think he got married. I don't know. You don't know. We still don't know exactly what happened there, but
it's another one of those.
Yeah, we're not sure. That may be his wife.
Okay, there we go. So, all right, so he's got two wives now. Let's just hope his wife doesn't find out, huh?
Apparently his U.S. based wife said, "Yeah, bring her over. We need help." So
yeah, I understand that. All right.
So I don't know what his new wife didn't know what she was getting into. And,
all right,
and of course, I don't know how many of those kids came with that new wife. So,
yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, how many kids come with that wife? So there you go.
Yeah, so James's
that
status
could multiply the expense and the issues. So, all right, Bill, I'm getting tired. You sound tired. Let's call this a quits tonight. and we'll talk again next week. Thanks everyone for being here. Have a great night.
All right. See y'all.